We are going to talk about life purpose. Chosen ones. Life purpose. We understand not everybody knows their life purpose, but something happens along your journey and it's like a click. Something just clicks. So life purpose is not taught in school. Okay, when you're talking about purpose, these are not something they will teach you when you're in school, or it's not about your degrees, your I don't know, bachelor's, diplomas. So this is something completely different. This is your own creation. If you look around you and you see the people that are working in their purpose, you're going to realize these people are doing something completely different. It is nothing they learned in school. It is something they had a vision. Life purpose is connected with vision. So it's your vision. You have a vision. You have this dream. You have this feeling of starting to create something new, something outside of your comfort zone. When the purpose comes to you, you will know. You know, in the first weeks, months, you may not really figure it out. But as the time goes on, you will know that, oh, so this is my purpose. This is my mission. This is exactly what I want to do. And normally, purpose is triggered due to an event. So there's supposed to be something that will happen along your journey. You could be, for example, you're working somewhere and you don't know, for some reason, something just triggered you. You was like, okay, I figured out something. Let me try to see if I can follow that direction. Let me try to check out more. Let me try to investigate. Let's see if it's all going to make the sense. So that is exactly when you're going to discover that you're going to follow that particular path. And like I said, when that moment comes, you cannot ignore it. It is going to shout and scream to you so hard intuitively that it is very hard to ignore. Now, back in the days, approximately maybe 5+ years ago, it came to me like in form of intuition. I had this very burning desire, to help. Let me help some people. Let me help. I've gone through this abuse and narcissistic abuse. So, there may be people out there who are going through the same experiences. And I was thinking that maybe if I can use myself as an example, and I can now start to share my experience. Okay? What exactly happened? What did I see? The things that I experienced. I took out my camera at the time, my phone. It was not even a camera, it was a phone. So I took out my phone. Step by step, I started sharing my story. And in the beginning, I was doing it like, it felt like casual. It was like a casual thing. Let me just do it casually. Of course, I was doing a job at the time. So the more I started talking and sharing, the more I discovered that there is things that I'm talking about that they was making a lot of sense. Not only to me, but also to a lot of the people that was watching at the time. Back in the days, it was during the Facebook, those Facebook days. So one person after the other one, I was starting to get they call it feedback. You get the feedback. Oh, you talked about something. That was my story. That was my experience. It makes a lot of sense. That's how I started to say, okay, now this thing is starting to ring a bell. So I would later on find out in a few months that the more I shared, the more I helped people. So for you, it can be a different way. It can be a different direction. Okay. You may discover something while you are at your job and you're like, oh, I've got this idea and I'm going to try to put my feet in there and to see how far we can go, how far you could go. And you're going to start this thing like a joke. You're going to be like, oh, we are trying, we are trying. We're going to sound like you're trying something. But as the time goes on, you're going to pick a lot of interest because you see, for you to be able to fully step into the craft, your craft, to fully step into your craft is going to take you about 10,000 hours. So that's the reason why I've said that sometimes when you start, it can look like it doesn't make sense. It's like a joke. You may even sometimes doubt yourself. You may think you're taking a piece. But as the more you put in that work, the hours are counting. And I can promise you by the time you click 10,000 hours, you're going to realize you are now on autopilot. You're in the craft now. You're fully into the craft and you're running on autopilot. So it's like you don't have to read somewhere. You don't have to script. You're not copying people. You're not going out there and borrowing people's content or borrowing people's ideas. You're just stepping into your idea fully. And the idea is starting to work. And then eventually, one step at a time, you're going to see results. Because you see, purpose doesn't give you results overnight. You don't just wake up and all of a sudden, oh, you're seeing this nice, it took off, your business took off, your creation took off, your craft has taken off, you build it, okay? And then eventually you're going to start to see that, oh, actually, you're starting to earn a little bit of here and there. You're getting a little bit of money here and there. It's starting to make sense. So those are the things you understand. That's how you know that you're fully stepping into your purpose. But along that journey, also another thing that I want to emphasize that is very important. So the deeper you stay, like let me say step, the deeper you step into your purpose, the more people are going to stay away from you. Okay? The people that have always been around you, because you see, back in the days, you guys do the same things. Maybe, for example, you might have these friends and you used to work the same job. You used to do the same job. You used to probably date the same kind of women. You used to go to the same club. But see, when you step into purpose and you step fully into it with both the feet and the hand, it starts to drag you away, kind of drag you away from routine. So routine does no longer make any sense to you. Routine is something like, it starts to be boring because you're like, okay, I've already done that thing. I've already exploited all the different alternatives. Let me try this way now. And that's how this thing takes off, So you start to get inspired to go a certain direction. So the people that you was with that was around you, they're like, you know, this friend of ours, this person, we see them going that way, we see them going this way, and you kind of like, we cannot catch up with what they are doing. Because you see, like I've told you, this is a creation, this is a craft, it's a creation, it's your own unique, authentic craft. And people don't understand what you're doing. People don't understand what you're doing. So because they don't understand what you're doing, they start to give you a distance. You may call them, hey, come and support me. I had this idea. I'm going to open that shop in the corner of the building. I saw some empty space. Some people are going to be like, what are you talking about? You're going to be opening a shop. Do you know how much it takes to open a shop? What about the taxes? Where are you going to get the materials? These and these, they are going to start telling you all these kind of things. And because you're committed to follow your heart, those people are committed to bring you out of that. You're committed to follow your craft. So now what is really happening is that there is this pull you feel. You're pulling away from these people energetically. And you're even doing it unconsciously. You don't even plan it. You're not intending or planning it. It just happens unconsciously and you start pulling away from some people. So in the initial stages, like I've said, people are going to walk away from you. You're going to lose a lot of people. Old circles that you always had before, many people that was around you, they're going to start pulling away. And there's nothing you can do. You're going to feel them one by one. Or they're no longer calling because you saw, Denzel Mos was going that way, he was doing this thing, and they cannot catch up with you. So basically, they start pulling away from you, or you may also pull away from them. Life purpose can also cause a lot of hatred. Because people, they see that you're doing something different. You're choosing your own unique, authentic craft. So they're going to start to hate on you. The people that used to be around you, you start doing whatever it is you want to do, they're going to start hating on you. Your best friends will start talking about you behind your back, because now you no longer have the same conversation you guys used to have, or sometimes you no longer have time to meet them and go for a drink, or you no longer have time to meet them for different things. So they're going to hate on you because it's unconscious. Some of them, it will be unconscious. I've seen all these things I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. So they're going to unconsciously hate on you. You may hear people talking about things like they may start calling you some different names. Is when you're going to start hearing a lot of these pet names, little pet names. And you may recognize that those are the names that you've never used before. So that's how you know that people are hating on you secretly. It is not like they're going to come out and tell you that they hate you, or whatever, that they're secretly going to hate on you. For all of you guys, when you find your purpose, you're going to go through separations. The people that you're dating, that you think you've been dating for a while and you thought that these was the people supposed to be around you, those people are going to start getting away from you. So you're going to go through separation, divorce, and somewhere down the road, a couple of years, you're going to realize that you did the right thing to separate from these people. You did the right thing to break up. Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to you guys who are moving the opposite direction. So you guys was completely moving different lanes. And whatever it is you was doing or you are doing, it is not something you could have done when you were still with those people. Some of you are going to leave your jobs. The job no longer does it for you, And sometimes you see people who have stepped away from their jobs and they've been making good money. But they're thinking like, okay, let me try to do something different. Yes, I've got this money. I've learned all these things. I've spent the time mastering this job. You know all the departments. You know all the chefs and the bosses and whatever, the supervisors. Now you're going to go your way. So you might find yourself getting out of your jobs. There's also going to be a time where you're going to feel like you're very exhausted, depressed and exhausted. You're really, really tired and you feel like maybe this thing is working or not working. Are you not sure what is going on? You're trying to make it work, but it's like the more you try, the more it's dragging a little bit and you want it to take off. So you may sometimes run into depression, stress. Because you see, when you get very deep into your purpose, you now start to realize that you were too deep to give up, okay? So those are things that are going to happen when you find your purpose. And you guys know, I do love and appreciate your support. You can always book a session. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I'll catch you guys in my next one. There's almost signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.